Welcome, friends. James Corbett here, CorbettReport.com, October 31st, 2017, and it's been a few days now since the release of the JFK files. Of course, you know what I'm talking about because you saw my previous video on this back in August. The CIA preps their next JFK PSYOP, where I was talking about the scheduled declassification release of the JFK assassination records that was due to come to fruition in October, and here we are, and the files have been released, and exactly as I was pointing out here, one of the big revelations, quote-unquote, from this document dump from the archives is, oh, wouldn't you know it, Lee Harvey Oswald called Russia's KGB department in charge of sabotage and assassination before killing JFK. I knew it. It was the Russkies. Who would have predicted they would have went with this PSYOP? And so anyway, you can go to that actual document and you can read all about it. According to an intercepted phone call in Mexico City, Lee Oswald was at the Soviet embassy there on 28th of September 63 and spoke with the consul. So there you go. Of course, the real question is, which Lee Harvey Oswald are they referring to? And if you don't know what I'm talking about with regards to that, please do go back to episode 287 of my podcast, Meet Lee Harvey Oswald, Sheep-Dipped Patsy, where I went through the fact that the question of even who is Lee Harvey Oswald is not open and shut by any means. Or was there only one person walking around making a name for himself in the months before the assassination going by that alias? It's a interesting, fascinating question. But now I'm sure you've seen in the archives, probably by this point, you've seen this document, which is a deposition of Richard Helms, who was the director of the CIA from 66 to 73. This was from the Rockefeller Commission hearings back in 1975 after the whole Watergate kerfuffle, and they had to try to throw a little bit of red meat to the crowd so that they'd be happy and go home without looking too deeply. So the Rockefeller Commission was doing its thing and deposing people like Richard Helms about CIA activities. And at the very end of this document, there's the question, is there any information involved with the assassination of President Kennedy which in any way shows that Lee Harvey Oswald was in some way a CIA agent or an agent? End of document. Yeah, that is where the document ends. So there you go. I'm sure you've seen that one by now. Yes, they tease that, but of course don't follow it up. So lots of documents like this are coming to light right now. As always, the point of the whole thing here is the open source investigation. What can we find about any of these documents or things that are coming to light? Is there anything really worth finding in here? So I'm going to set you guys loose on that question. I have dug up some things on my own, but I'm interested to see what you guys can come up with. The other question is, did we get the whole release or not? Or we're going to? Or maybe we won't? This, of course, came out just a couple of days ago, posted here on Zero Hedge. Trump blocks full release of JFK assassination records after last-minute CIA push, which notes that White House officials explained that while some 2,800 JFK records will be released today, the publications of the remaining records have been postponed for 180 days to give agencies more time to figure out what they want redacted. And so this may or may not continue to be the case even after Trump tweeted. He was tweeting about how he's going to release all the files, and I'm doing this for reasons of full disclosure and transparency and in order to put any and all conspiracy theories to rest, because rest assured, Donald J. Trump wants you to believe that it was Oswald acting alone. But despite having made those tweets saying that all the files are released in full, they are not released in full. In a memo Thursday, Trump directed agencies that requested redactions to reassess the reasons for keeping the record secret and said he would make a decision on those requests within 180 days, exactly as Zero Hedge was reporting a few days ago. But it is unclear what his latest statement would do to that timeline. The White House has not provided a definitive timeline for the National Archives and Records Administration to release all the files. A White House official told CNN that the period of time has not been determined. The administration began to release some of the documents Thursday evening, making more than 2,800 records public, but Trump agreed not to release the full tranche of records, acquiescing to last-minute requests from national security agencies that some of these records remain classified. Those documents included files that raised concerns over the possible impact of their release on U.S. national security, law enforcement, and foreign relations. So, what do we make of this? As far as I can tell, no, not all of the documents have been released yet, and there's still this 180-day window at the very least till the full release happens. If anyone has anything more definitive that debunks this, I'd be interested to see it. Oh, and of course the little video that audio plays here in CNN fake news has this quote from one of the documents. The thing I'm concerned, this is LBJ, the thing I'm concerned about is, and so is Mr. Katzenbach, the Deputy Attorney General, is having something issued so we can convince the public that Oswald is the real assassin. And they're reporting this as if this is a new quote. I'm pretty sure we already had something on the record from LBJ about this before. So I think there's going to be a lot of these kinds of, hey, here's this brand new revelation for the JFK files that really isn't a revelation at all. But yes, I guess for people who didn't know, yes, LBJ did want the public to believe that Oswald acted alone. And supposedly, because it was, we don't want to start a war with the Russkies. And that was part of the leverage that he used in getting people on to the Warren Commission, including, I believe, Warren himself, who didn't want to be the chief investigator, justice, whatever, presiding over that commission. But LBJ pulled his arm, shall we say. Anyway, so there's lots of documents to dig into. I'm very interested to see what you guys come up with. But a warning, for those of you who, of course, already took a look at my video on you've decided to boycott Google, you know that Google is already adjusting their search algorithms to take certain ideas out of the public discourse, basically. And we don't have to speculate about that. One of the top posts on the conspiracy subreddit as I speak. I trust Bing more than Google. I searched JFK fires CIA employs journalist, and Bing results were about the topic. Google's BS results were not. And here's the side-by-side comparison. JFK files CIA employs journalists, and you got lots of articles that relate to the topic on Bing, and you have articles that do not relate to the topic on Google. And the person who made this post said he went through the first 5 pages of Google results and didn't find anything related to the topic. So for those who don't know, there is a document in here that talks about the fact that there were 40 CIA officers employed as journalists, including one who was covering the Warren Commission. But you won't find that if you're searching through Google. So probably the best strategy, rather than just switching over to Bing, how about using a number of different search engines? And I did go through a number of them here in this open source investigation on alternative searches. So that's something to keep in mind for this. And final interesting little nugget I'll leave you with. This shared from Vivian Kubrick over on Twitter. Here's the link to CIA site showing Hitler intelligence report, page 2, item 3. Let's check this out. What's this about? On 29 September 1955, Similodi 3 reported the following. Neither Similodi 3 nor this station is in a position to give an intelligent evaluation of the information and is being forwarded as a possible interest. And here's this story about a Philip Citroën, former German SS trooper, stated to him confidentially that Adolf Hitler is still alive. Citroën claimed to have contacted Hitler about once a month in Colombia on his trip from Maracaibo to that country as an employee of the KNSM, Royal Dutch Shipping Co. in Maracaibo. Citroën indicated to Similodi 3's friend that he took a picture with Hitler not long ago, but did not show the photograph. And later on it goes to show that for purposes of getting his reaction to the possible veracity of this fantastic story, the photo was shown to Similodi 3. And guess what? It's here. Yep. Adolf Hitler, 1955. Photo, supposedly anyway, whatever you make of this is supposed, I believe 1954. This is a 1954 photo of Adolf Hitler in Colombia. Or is it Argentina by this point? I have my Hitler timeline messed up. So this is an official CIA record anyway. Of course I'll put the link in the show notes. I have my own theories about things like this popping up in the JFK files, but hey guys, I'm interested to hear your take. So if you are a Corbett Report member, please do log on to the site and join the open source investigation. Very much looking forward to what you guys dig up.